So this weekend, I made massive shifts in my business, leaps and bounds, but the delivery didn't change. What I'm going to do didn't change. What is up, you guys? Sage here. I'm CEO founder of Legacy Africa. Legacy Africa helps professionals market, position their businesses better. And so the concept is, if there's a doctor down the street, doctor up the street, the one down the street has a good professional website, photography, social medias, etc., then and the one up the street doesn't have those things, people are going to tend to go down the street, even if the one up the street could have done a better job and is actually objectively a better doctor. And so we're going to be helping professionals, companies position their businesses better. Now, here's the thing: upstream, the effect of that is going to be scale in your business, is going to be more customers. So you're going to generate more revenue. And so your business is going to grow. So you're going to be able to hire more staff and you're going to be able to. This is what we've been offering the entire time. We just haven't been able to articulate it as well. That's what I've been working on this weekend, is how do I shift our language? And so the initial question was, okay, I know what I do, or the result of what I do is scaling business, is growth. How do I articulate my core skill set in a way that is differentiated from the marketplace? Because I don't want to be just another marketing agency. So essentially, what I've built over the past 6 months is I have a website on which I have a talent pipeline. This is a combination of students from C2U, NMU, uh, EduVas, Emirates, all the different campuses around PE. I've really focused specifically on PE. I have students from all the campuses around. I have professionals from around PE that are doing marketing related things, not exclusively, because you shift, you pivot, you try and find where your expertise is particularly inclined. Now, what I wasn't realizing is that I was constantly leaning towards people that were in line with enhancing my current skill set, which is I'm a marketer. I'm an incredibly good marketer. I'm an incredibly good salesman, right? But specifically within the marketing aspect, I think my sales skills I learned very quickly. I'm quite advanced. I'm quite advanced, but I wouldn't say that's my leading skill. That's more of a lagging skill, because I have good sales skills, like, and I'm really very good at connecting with people genuinely. And I understand that the point of sales is not really to give people things, even if they don't need them, but it's to identify if there is a need and matching what I can provide to that need that exists. That's the point of sales. So as long as you understand the point of sales, you can you can get there. You can close. You can do those things. But if the need doesn't exist, then it's better to move on, because it's better for both parties involved, you know? So I understand those base core dynamics of sales. I understand, certain overcomes, opens, closes, stuff like that. But my primary thing, here's the thing. Here's why I'm not adding that to the service. Number one, I don't think I'm the best salesman around. Uh, and number two, I think it's confusing. It'll muddy the language. It won't be as clear. It won't be as clear what we do. We're gonna just seem like we're trying to do everything for everyone, right? And what we've managed to achieve with at least slightly niching down, we haven't like ultra niched, but we've certainly picked a lane, which is what I don't feel like we were expressing in the marketplace before. And so I'm just doubling down on, number one, what my core skill set is. I decided that, okay, I may not be the best salesman in Port Elizabeth. Let's just I'm sure I'm top 10%, top 5%. 1% would be crazy. I'll take top 5%. I know I'm certainly top 10% in the world in terms of creators with a similar follow count on TikTok. Top 10% in the world. That's a verifiable, bona fide fact. Like, I didn't. You can go check on my social media. They literally sent me a message that said, you're in the top 90%. You're in the top 10%. Imagine the top 90%. You're in the top 10% of people with a similar follow account. I know that my Instagram is going absolutely insane. I'm doing about 50,000 views per month right now. Like right now, my run rate is 50,000. And I know exactly what to do to keep it there and to go even further above. Mind you, all I have to work with is this iPhone. Talk about a shoestring budget. There is no budget. There is no budget. I leverage relationships. I do mutually beneficial deals. Just I know the game. I know how the game works. And that was my core frustration. My core frustration 2 days ago, I'll be very transparent with you. 2 days ago, I was doing a keynote speech at graduation. And as I'm walking up stage, obviously, you know me, dressed, dapper, nice suit, nice everything. And as I'm walking up there, I'm like, man, this is my life. This is really me. Yesterday, I was in an ad, and today, I'm doing a keynote speech. On Monday, I was at a book launch. Friday, in order to do this keynote speech, I am not going to in a different networking event that I was invited out to. Like, this is my life. This is crazy, right? And I think this all comes from number one, having the core skill of, for example, communication, speech, this, that, the third. Like, I have these things. But the only reason why I get the opportunities is because people know that I have these things. The right people know that I have these things. How do the right people know that I have these things? Because I'm an incredible marketer. Because I'm incredible at, number one, having and developing the core skills. It's been 4 years. It's been 4 years. So having that core skill, developing it over time, having the patience with yourself, continuing to show up even when the results aren't showing. That's one thing to develop it. But what I do that people who probably maybe are even better marketers than me, well, no, they technically can't be because any, but maybe they are better speakers than me, more technically proficient in whatever skills, aren't getting the opportunities I'm getting, aren't getting in the positions that I'm getting, and are not as verified or validated in the marketplace, don't have the connections I do, the corporate ties. All that comes from what you showcase. The market can only react to what it knows is there. And so, the number one thing that I believe I can contribute to a professional that has spent years, and the reason why I know this avatar is because I'm living with this frustration. I've lived with this frustration of, I know I'm good. I know for a fact I'm better than a lot of other alternatives. And I'm not being recognized for how good I am. And I've collected a set of skills, a set of infinity stones, if you will, that are the cure to the problem that I have experienced for years. And I believe that being able to articulate that now correctly to the marketplace, as well as a lot of violence. I know it's going to take a lot of violence. I don't mind going like, I don't mind going to the end of Port Elizabeth and walking all the way to the other end of Port Elizabeth, going door to door to the professionals that I'm looking to aid. I don't mind having those types of interactions. I don't mind the amount of violence that it's going to take to get to the other side of this. But I know that I have something that the marketplace would react very positively to if they knew that it existed. And so, what will follow from tomorrow is a very violent series of actions, very extremely violent. Like, I feel like the professionals that I'm going to be collaborating with are going to go from not knowing I exist to not being able to avoid me overnight. We have about 100 CTU students that are going to be coming through that I'm going to be a host company to. We have a team of dedicated professionals. My CTO, my sales reps, my creative guys behind the scenes, my PA. We have a team dedicated to keeping me intact, so that I can focus on doing the things like the things I've been doing this weekend. Yesterday, I went door to door to try and figure out who needs this, and I learned instead who doesn't need it. And so I went out with the intention of, oh, I'm going to sell this thing. And if I do sell this thing, whoop-de-doo, we've found people that we match with. If I don't sell this thing, we at very least know who is not going to buy and why not. And so what I learned yesterday is like, oh, people, franchisees, not our core customer. And so I can relay that information even to the students when they come through. Oh, listen, franchisees, not our core customer, because the reason why they're franchisees because they don't want anything to do with that marketing stuff. Like, and if we have to explain to you that, listen, if you had proper marketing for your shell specifically, for your engine specifically, for your BP specifically, if you had the marketing for your location, you would get a lot more business. If we have to explain that to you, if you had marketing for your Pick and Pay, if people knew about the Pick and Pay in, okay, I'm not gonna not gonna be too specific and detailed, but knowing and understand that, oh, knowing and understanding that, oh, okay, so people who are a part of larger franchises, usually the marketing is centralized. It's not going to be under the control of the individual. For example, I popped into there's a local car dealership that they do secondhand cars, and if people know where I live will know what I'm talking about. They do secondhand cars, pretty big, quite popular. They're nationwide, but it's one of the branches. And I went to talk to the people. Very good angle I came in with. No, listen, I have a presentation on Monday, and I would just like some help. So I don't know if you guys have maybe a marketing director or this or that I could speak to that would maybe give me some keynotes and this and that. Engaged with them and found out that, oh, okay, their marketing is centralized. Okay, so this is definitely not our customer. Shift it, next person. So I'm like, okay, I'm scratching off the list. Okay, no, so franchisees, not, franchisees, not it. This style of they might be it, but they probably won't be able to afford the service. Budget, authority, need, timing, right? The timing is the only thing that we should be struggling with, or that we should be concerned about. But budget, authority, and need should definitely not. So I'm scratching off the list. Went to go talk to another local retailer, and talk to the guy who owns the place. We went back and forth, or the guy who was managing at that time. We go back and forth, and they're like, "No, man, listen, this, that, the third. Ah, we mostly do our thing here. This, that, the." It's like, oh, okay. You again are leveraging the fact that the store name is nationwide, but you're not really concerned about the fact that your particular store is like the traffic that you get is not even predicated upon like the nationwide thing. Yeah, it helps, it trickles down to you, but you could have your own efforts that are dedicated to that. You don't care about that. You're just, the lights are on, your salary is getting paid, you're good. So it's the lessons you learn, right? You take notes on all those things. You know who not to go for, who not to sell to, based off of what, and so you kind of get a better understanding of who to sell to, based off of what. And yeah, with this to be formulated, I also want to come out with a campaign that is directed towards the different marketers in PE. So whether you're a photographer, you're a web developer, and these are the people I've been gravitating towards the whole time. I just didn't understand why, to be honest with you. And I've messed around and built the like this ecosystem. It's just now a question of wielding it and wielding it well. So yeah, just photographers, videographers, web developers, um, designers, graphic design, like all those elements that come into branding. I've partnered with Office Cube, and it didn't make sense even to me at that time, how this is going to come into play. And then in retrospect, I'm like, oh, branding. Branding. That's why I was so attracted to that, because branding. It was attracted to me because branding, my branding, I wanted to do branding through my own partnership. And then I realized now in retrospect, like, oh, okay, if you look at what we've actually done in retrospect, we built a vertically integrated market positioning solution from someone who has positioned themselves well enough in the market that I am getting opportunities that I'm not even ready for, or I wasn't even ready for. Like, like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like it's like I have, and to an extent, it's like, man, I have no right to be saying what I'm saying right now, to be speaking the way that I'm speaking. But at the same time, I have every right because I'm here. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like I have every right because I am speaking. I am here. I do know what I'm talking about. It's just that we haven't put that last brick on that bridge to get the rands to start crossing at the flow that we'd like them to. Yeah, sure, we've made some money. We've made some money, and we are continuing to make more. But I have goals. I have goals. I have revenues to hit by the end of the year. Take homes, bottom lines to hit by the end of the year. And we're about 6 months through the year. Where it's the 1st of June tomorrow, and I'm very very excited to embark on this journey. And I know that this is going to click. I just don't know when, how quickly it's going to click, but I know that we're going to learn very quickly, especially across the next month. Like I said, from the 1st to the 12th, I'm going to have 100 employees technically, or I'm going to have 100 independent contractors legally. SARS, independent contractor, not employee. There's no tax obligation for SARS. But yeah, so this is an opportunity to hit the marketplace very, very violently, more than we have ever before. And I think it came at the perfect time when we have gone through all the journeys that we had to go through in order to get to this place, knowing what we know now, and what can we accomplish. There's definitely going to be a hard cap eventually on the amount of clients that I'm just able to take on, purely because at some point I'm going to be demand constrained. Like after you have 100 people, even contacting 5 businesses each, that's 500 actions per day that we're going to be outputting on top of the content, on top of the things that we've compounded up until this point. So I think, just a thought from my side, that things are going to like shift very quickly the way that they have. I mean, 6 months ago, best not 6 months ago, life was very, very different. But I took a risk. I took a risk, and I'm living the results of taking that risk right now. And even to be in the position where I'm about to do what I'm about to do, taking even more risk. Um, and I keep betting on myself. That's the number one thing that has been happening all throughout, is you just keep betting on yourself, because you have to. You have to throw the kitchen sink at this thing, or else it, like, nothing will budge. And at least if you throw the kitchen sink at it, even if you have a tiny sink at that time, the chances of it budging are much higher than if you just gently try to nudge it forward. You have to be very, very violent with your actions. Stubborn on the vision, flexible on the details, um, extremely, extremely impatient with actions, extremely impatient with inputs, very, very calm when it comes to outputs, when it comes to getting a return for everything that you put in. Because we understand that these things, they compound over time, actions compound over time. And it's just about increasing that capacity and the way that we have. And, basically everything. And hence I say, you take those moments, you step back, you're like, wait, actually, I do have the right to speak about the things that I do. And I'm very careful not to spew nonsense that I don't practice. I'm very careful not to preach things. Like, I never talk to people about, this is how you make money. This is how I've made money. I don't, because I don't feel like I have the moral authority to speak on those things. But I always speak about how, like, building capacity. I always speak about how to hone your craft, how to hone your skill, the results of honing your skill and honing your craft, and being known for doing that. Because that's the lived experience that I'm living right now. And I believe that if that remains the case, if you stay in your lane, you keep running towards the things that you love, you keep very violent. I talk about working very, very hard, because it's Sunday right now, and every day I sleep at 10, wake up at 6. Even if I sleep at 11, I wake up at 6. 12, 6. Because I'm stacking so many violent actions towards the outcomes. Hence, the iteration cycles, the growth cycles are happening very quickly. You can literally achieve in 6 months what it takes people years to achieve, if you do in 6 months what it takes people years to do. It really, it just boils down to that. It's the ability to be willing to, at any moment, sacrifice who you are for who you could be. To be willing to, at any moment, not just when the Springboks are not on, not just when your friends aren't calling you to go out to the club, not just when the girls aren't, lining up by the droves, begging for attention, or trying to text you, trying to DM you, trying to do this and that. It's at any moment, to be willing to, at any moment. So to receive those DMs, ignore them. To receive the calls from the friends, let them know you're busy. To, like, sacrifice without regret. To be willing to, at any moment, put in the violent action that it takes to become who you know you are. It's yeah, and I think I'll finish with this one. If I am to be one day, I must be now. To be the man, you got to be the man. To be great, you have to be great. This is a generational run, ladies and gentlemen. To be great, you have to be great. To be willing to, at any moment, give up who you used to be for who you want to be. And the reason why most of us won't be successful, the reason why most of you won't be successful, no offense to anyone. I'm sorry if you took offense to that. If the shoe fits. The reason why most of you won't be successful is because you can't outlast your old you long enough to get to your new you. In order to achieve this thing that you want to achieve, you're going to have to knock on the door 1,000 times. And you haven't knocked on 10 doors. So you're going to have to knock on the door 1,000 times, and your body says you're a liar. You can't do this. We've never done anything like this. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm crying. Like I've been very, very close to just breaking down mentally, and I prioritize going to the gym because it helps me, like, stay stable. I prioritize putting the work in, getting the work in, because that keeps me stable. Honestly, I get very anxious. I get, like, all the different things, and the closest people to me will tell you that, like, I work like an animal, not because sometimes I want to, it's the coolest thing to do, but because it's when I feel the most calm and the most at peace, because I know that I'm trying my best. I'm trying, like, genuinely. And here's the crazy thing: if you genuinely tried your best, you would do it. But people say I tried my, but did you? Like, did you actually try your absolute best? Because if you did, I promise you, it would be evident. It would be very, very obvious when we look at you without you saying one word. From your ethos, we ought to be able to tell that you are that guy and you are doing what it takes to become who you want to become. So that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at mentally. That's what's going on. Those are the changes that are about to happen in the business. And yeah, Godspeed, glory, and the mountains will move because they have to. If the future, if the future will be good, because I will make it so. If you want the future to be good, you must make it so. In any case, enough quotes. If you are a marketer, a photographer, a videographer in Port Elizabeth, the link is in the description box down below. We are going on a generational run, ladies and gentlemen. Please join that. Uh, if you're not any of those things, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching anyway, man. I really do appreciate it. Like, none of this is possible without the people. None of this is possible without you guys engaging. None of this is possible. None of this is true. None of this is anything without you, without your support. And so, thank you for that. If you did in fact enjoy the video, if you'd like to continue to support everything that I'm trying to do and everything that's going on, please do hit that subscribe button. It means everything. It really, really does. Uh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I've been Sage, standing on business. Signing out.